G'day guys, Gundam Russ back once again. Well, today guys, we're going to be checking out my awesome little Vita collection here. Absolutely love the PlayStation Vita handheld. I would say, without a doubt, for me, it's one of my favourite handhelds of all time, right next to the PSP and 3DS. So get yourself comfortable. We've got a lot of games to check out, so let's start off with this one here. Now, I haven't even opened this one up, guys. I was actually quite surprised to see this was still sealed. And I think I picked this up just before I moved to this house. So it's probably been sitting in my collection for about 6 months. And this one here is Super Neptune Seager versus Hard Girls. Now, for those that don't know much about the Dimension or Hyperdimension Neptunia series, it's basically all these girls represent a different console, which is really cool. When you play the Hyperdimension series, and the best way to look at that generally is either playing them on PS3 or PS4, you'll find that some girls will represent Xbox console, some will represent PlayStation, and it's all brought into sort of like a JRPG, which is so awesome in my opinion. I love the idea behind it. But this one here is Seager vs Hard Girls. I don't know a hell of a lot about it, guys, so I'm not going to go into any detail about it. But I am looking forward to busting this seal off because I think seals on games should not be left on, they should be pulled off. Now, continuing with the girls, guys, we have this one here called Drive Girls. Now, this is a Japanese version, but you can pick it up in PAL territory, and I'm pretty sure if you guys out in the States, you should be able to pick this up as well. But this one is really cool. Basically, you go into a lot of set missions, and it's a hack and slash sort of genre. But you can drive a car and then transform into a girl, which is right up my alley. If you're an anime pervert like myself, this is right up your alley. But really enjoyable game, one I highly recommend. Alright guys, we have another one that's a bit of a spin-off of the Hyperdimension Neptunia series. This one here is Mega Tag Mention Blank versus Zombies plus Neptune. So quite a massive name there. This is a bit like a hack and slash game. Really fun. I've got quite a fair distance in with this one here. I remember playing it a fair bit while I was on public transport and had a lot of fun playing it. So again, this one rated M for mature audiences, so not one for the little kiddies out there. Alright guys, next one is a racing title. This is like an anti-gravity racing title. This one is a Wipeout 2048, so this one is really fun. If you're looking for some quick racing in between, you might be waiting to go to the doctor or doing something, you might just be able to sit at home and spend a bit of half an hour playing a couple of races. This is definitely right up there, really fun, highly recommend. This next one, I'm really disappointed in myself for not picking up the remainder of the titles, and I will at some stage, but this one is Trigger Happy Havoc Dango Romper. Now, this is such a awesome title, and there has been an anime spin-off series from this as well. But it's one of these murder mystery titles. We have to try and figure out who is going around killing people within this school. And if you're anything like me, that if you're into like sort of crime stuff or solving mysteries, this is the game for you. One thing I've always wanted to do as growing up as a kid, guys, was to become a detective. Unfortunately, I didn't live out that dream, but I get to live it out with these sort of games. So really recommend picking this title up. Alright, this next one, guys, if you're looking for a challenging dungeon crawler, this is the one for you. This is Demon Gaze. Now, there is Demon Gaze 2, which you can pick up on the PS4 and on the Vita. I picked it up, the second one, on PS4, but the first one here, I'm really close to finishing this. I really need to pick it back up and play it, but it is a really fun dungeon crawler. If you're looking to get into dungeon crawlers, this is definitely a good way to go. It's not overly hard, but it still puts you on your toes, and I highly recommend when you play this game to save, because I got myself in a really bad spot where no matter what, I was too under leveled and I couldn't get past it, so I had to go back quite a few hours. And when I say quite a few hours, I'm talking about 10 hours. So yeah, I was pretty pissed off at the time, but this is a really solid dungeon crawler game. Highly recommend picking it up. This next one is Spy Hunter. Now, this isn't the greatest game out there. It was done by Warner Brothers Games, so they're not well known for many games at all. but they were giving it a crack, and I really enjoy this. So you can normally pick this up for about $10 to $15, and it's quite a fun game. You got a lot of, you know, sort of set missions. It's kind of like a little, you know, James Bond sort of car racing, you know, not so much car racing, but you're going out doing little set missions where you have to try and get to a certain point or blow up enemies along the way, or drive up into a truck, which is really fun. So highly recommend checking this one out, really fun. Alright, and then we come to this one here, which is probably my most played game on the Vita, and that is Everybody's Golf. I love this game. I do not enjoy playing golf in the real world, except if you ask me to go to a driving range, I'll be there. I love going to a driving range and hitting some golf balls, but when it comes to playing golf, I ain't got time for that, I can tell you that. But this is really fun. I just love the cutesy characters in here. I love that you know, every time you get past a tournament, you have sort of like a boss battle, if you will, against a pro golfer, and you got to try and get past them. And then when you beat the character, you get to unlock them into your roster. So yeah, this is one of my highest regarded games for the PlayStation Vita, if you ask me. Next, we have another dungeon crawler. This is why I love the Vita, because I love dungeon crawlers. This one is Operation Abyss, and it's called New Tokyo Legacy. This one is very much like Demon Gaze. I found that there was a bit of crossover with some of the enemies between this one and Demon Gaze, and I haven't really looked into why that is, but I think it might have been done by the same people. But this, I've only sunk probably a couple hours into and enjoyed what I've played so far. The overall length of this particular title I've heard is between 40 to 60 hours, so it's quite a decent dungeon crawler when in terms of length anyway. This one here, I'm surprised that not many people know about this game, but there was actually an exclusive Uncharted game for the PlayStation Vita, and this one was Uncharted Golden Abyss. And I really enjoyed this. I remember playing this for the first time. This was actually my first game I got for my Vita. And just going out to the open world, I was like, wow, this is what the Vita can do. It was like producing images that were on par with my PS3, if not a little bit better, because you got that smaller screen. But great story, really enjoyed this, and I was like, man, this was like the game to really get the Vita going, and it's probably one of their best-selling games from what I've seen. Really do recommend this if you have got a Vita and you haven't got this, you're missing out. Next, guys, we have a turn-based tactics game. This one here being Grand Kingdom. So this is like a side-scrolling sort of game, and this is quite enjoyable. There's lots of customizations you can do with this particular title. Haven't got a huge amount of the way through this, but from what I played, it was quite enjoyable. I managed to pick this one up, I still remember, for $15 at a JB Hi-Fi store here in Australia, which was an absolute steal. So yeah, it's a pretty solid title in my opinion. Okay, so the next three games I've got here, guys, are part of the Hyperdimension Neptune series. So we've got Hyperdimension Neptune Rebirth 1, Hyperdimension Neptune Rebirth 2, and Hyperdimension Rebirth 3 V Generation. Now, these were all on the PlayStation 3, but they brought them over to the PlayStation Vita. And these particular titles had, you know, extra cutscenes, and everything had been, you know, converted over to English within the voices and within the text as well. So yeah, these are some of my biggest. This is one of my sort of like favorite JRPG series. I really enjoy it. It's not everyone's cup of tea. The graphics aren't all that crisp, but it's like you're not going to play this game and you're not going to see things like, you know, Dragon Quest, you know, quality graphics. They're not on par with that. No, they're not. But I really just love the storyline behind this. I love all the anime elements. I love the ladies in this as well, and I love the fact that so many of the enemies within this game are based on, you know, different video game series. So sometimes you'll be going up against one of the ones I always remember is you go up against sort of like the tube system from Mario, so you'll be fighting up against that, and then you have like this little carrot that looks like a slime from Dragon Quest. So there's lots of those real cool things, and I love the fact, like I said, that all these girls are based on consoles as well, and some of my favourites have to be the Xbox girls because they are very nice indeed. This next one is Dead or Alive Xtreme 3. This is just a fun, relaxing game where you get to play as girls from the Dead or Alive series in bikinis or whatever outfit you want to put on them. You can do, you can give the girls your own outfits that you want to, through winning sort of tournaments and little things like that. And you can give the girls gifts. It's just a really fun game. I like it. I'm happy to have it in my collection. This one here, this has to be one of the best racing games on a portable system. This is Ridge Racer. Loved this to death. I remember this was one of my first games I got for the Vita, and I think I remember lending this out to my good friend Josh, and he had borrowed it for a couple of months and basically unlocked everything. He was very good at games, that's for sure. But I've always loved this, and it's just such fun paced arcade action, and I wish that Namco would bring back this series and bring us back a true Ridge Racer game. This next one I haven't played, and I really want to, because this one is actually PlayStation TV compatible, which for those who don't know would allow you to play a lot of your video games up on the big screen. And my good friend Austin, the Retro Rescue, was super nice and actually sent me one. It absolutely blew me away. I definitely recommend check out Austin's channel. Yeah, this one is Exist Archive, the other side of the sky. So I don't know anything about it. I've heard lots of good things about it. If you've enjoyed it, let me know, but I do want to get into playing this at some stage. This one here is another great racing game for the PlayStation Vita, and you can pick it up for really cheap. I'm talking like $10 sometimes, guys, if you look out there. And this one is Need for Speed Most Wanted. Just lots of good racing and cops as well, obviously. So really like that one. Next up we have Project Diva F, which is another Japanese import game. This is like a fun rhythm game, which I enjoy playing from time to time. But yeah, this was a recent sort of pickup over the last so many months, so happy to have that one. This next one here is Chaos Rings 3. Now this is a Japanese exclusive RPG title. Now funny enough, this is actually the fourth title in this series. This was originally on Android and iOS as a mobile game, and then they ported it over to the PlayStation Vita. So as my Japanese is slowly getting better, I'm starting to understand some of this, so I'm trying to get better at it. But yeah, this is something that I'm aiming to be able to play from start to finish at Monday soon. This next one, quite a fun title, recommend picking up if you can get it. This is Army Corps of Hell. Basically you grab a whole sort of army of these monsters, and you go up against some epic boss battles throughout the game, and I really enjoyed this. I really want to get around at some stage to finish this. Next we have Odin Sphere, a beautiful game done by Atlas. I really enjoyed the story behind this one, completed it, and highly recommend you guys, if you can find this, pick it up. You will enjoy it. This next one is another sort of Vita title that a lot of people don't know about, and it is very, very good. I enjoyed it, and it's an easy platinum trophy if you guys look for a platinum trophy that's quite easy to pick up, and that is Resistant Burning Skies. Now if you guys have been around my channel for quite some time, you'll know how much I love the Resistance series. These games are set around that 1950s period, and you go up against these Chimera, which are these alien sort of creatures, and from them you get to use some of their futuristic sort of guns, and you've basically got like World War II guns that are modified with their sort of technology. It just makes for a recipe of awesomeness, and I absolutely love this game. It makes me excited just seeing this cover. I kind of want to put it right now and play some, and that's how excited I am, but this is one worth checking out. This next one here, I haven't had much of a chance to play, but what I played, it's been quite decent. And this is Gundam Xtreme vs Force, a fun Gundam game on the go. This next one is a big favourite of mine for PlayStation Vita, and this is Lumen's Electronic Symphony. Now this is like a futuristic sort of Tetris game, and I love it. It's got such good music in it, and I love all the bright lights that go with it, so really recommend picking this one up. Next one we have is Persona 4 Golden. Now this one here had a lot of extra story thrown into it. It's the biggest and best sort of version that you can get, to my knowledge. And this was a RPG that I really enjoyed and played it from start to finish and did not put it down. One that you should definitely have in your PlayStation Vita collection. Next, for those Ys fans out there like myself, this one here is Ys Memories of Successor, and I loved and adored this title. I just love this sort of traditional JRPG. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, but for an old school gamer like myself, this is a lot of fun and one that you should have on the Vita. And then lastly guys, we have Unit 13, which was a really fun sort of shooter title, where in the beginning when this came out, there was actually quite a competitive sort of online ranking system where you could see how you went up against other people, but there was a lot of fun sort of missions that you could go out and do, and I really enjoyed this. Haven't played it, and I would highly doubt there would be anyone out there to play with now, unfortunately, which is sad, but it was quite an enjoyable game. Well, there we have it guys, there was my Vita collection. Let me know below what your favourite games were in my collection, or if there's any games that you think I need for my PlayStation Vita collection, please let me know and I'll check them out. Alright guys, I'm Gundam Gaming, and thank you very much for watching. See you later.